Hi guys, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie and this is the final collaboration event for this calendar year. And again, it is user's choice and I am opting to use my scraps. So you'll notice that I've got a bunch of scraps in this bin. This is a result of the playing I've done in September, October, November, so it's only fitting that we wrap up the year trying to use up as much of these as possible. I also have leftover embellishments and bits from Croptober, which was back in October. Rather than try and find a home for all of this stuff, I might as well just make something with it. So I could see me making some scrapbook pages, maybe some cards. I don't even know what I've got all in here. So the first thing I'm going to do, I think, is sort through my scraps. If you are interested in seeing my process, I will have a video coming up shortly that will walk you through how I take these scraps and turn them into projects, so stay tuned for that. But for this video, I will come back with the finished results. Okay, I am finished playing with all those scraps, and all that I have left that needs to find a home is this piece here. It's large enough, I'll just stick it in with my 12 by 12 specialty papers. And this is the final results. I punched a bunch of generic shapes, things like circles, labels, tabs, tickets, etc. And basically these are just going to go in kind of a, well, like a bin like this, although this is pretty full. And I just kind of keep these on my desk, and whenever I need, you know, a small little piece, I will pull that out and use that. So I guess technically they're still scraps, but I've transformed them into something that's a little bit more usable. That goes the same with these. I took some of the larger pieces and cut them into shapes that I commonly use for card making, and I have a bin full of these panels. I'll just slot those in so they're ready to go. If you've been a subscriber of my channel for any length of time, you know that I like to make card bases as well as scrapbook base pages. So they're basically pages that have started but are not quite finished. So I made a couple card bases. Again, they're just pretty generic. They just need a focal point and a sentiment, and they will be done. Although I did complete 2 cards. This is one. This is actually cut out of fabric. I really like how this turned out. And I just used scraps left over from my Croptober kit. And for base pages, I have a few. I've made this really multi-layered one. This was a lot of fun to just kind of layer all the little bits and pieces. I have room for one photo. Obviously, if I want to add more, I could cover up some of the scraps, but I'm thinking one is probably what I will end up doing with this. I just loved this pink floral paper, so I tried to feature it in the layers. Just a very generic base page. Something a little bit different. I had a leftover ring from a previous page that I had done. If you look at the embellishments that I used here, these were ones that I made in preparation for Croptober. So if you're interested in learning how I made those, I do have videos up for that. Another generic base page. This one here, I cut out a bunch of flowers from some scrap papers and then made my own border, added some twine, and you'll notice that I have some dimensional flowers on here. These are also items that I made in preparation for Croptober. So again, there are videos on how to make those as well. I'll link to the Croptober playlist in case you're interested in checking that out. Even though it's not October any longer, it still can be applicable. I really like this one. These were leftover scrap, and I think this was leftover scraps from a retreat that I went to in September, and I just think that one's really fun, a little bit different. I tried to use the scraps in the shapes that they were in so that I could maximize the use, so that's why you'll see things like this where it's wall to wall covered. this year it was fun to make. The Frugal Crafter talked about serendipity papers a while ago, and I had never really heard the term, but I guess it was a thing way back. And I thought that would be kind of fun to use all the little bits and pieces left over from my Mind's Eye Gingham Foundry collection. And so I just pieced this together. It kind of gives it a scrappy quilt look. And then I had this leftover plank wood piece, and then because there was some golden yellows in the papers, I thought it would be kind of fun to use some gold glitter washi tape, and I matted all of that on a navy cardstock. And these are all the leftover bits from Vicki Bouton's class that I took at that same retreat. So when I had punched, well, for the retreat, I had already punched out some of these circles. So I thought, well, let's punch out all of them, which I did. And then I added some back. And added some dimensionals behind them. And then these are just all different layers of scraps that I had. It was kind of fun to put it together. Not my normal style, but still kind of fun. So that is everything for this month's collaboration, and that wraps up this year. At the time of recording, I don't know if we're going to do anything in the new year. I'm hoping so. I hope you enjoyed my project share for this month. Be sure to check out the other collaborators. Their links are below. And until next time, happy crafting.